Creation. Our story starts when Urizen, the bricklayer of a higher level of existence, if it could be described as such, created the husk of our reality. Urizen filled it with the voidlings and with the Supreme Being. Within the Supreme Being's mind contained a vision of a reality where no object felt pain or boredom, nor did they suffer from work or disease. Instead, they lived in an eternal joy. The Supreme Being had in mind a pantheistic paradise. The Supreme Being set about to create this, and to do so created the being known as Azathoth, which would, when given all the power of his reality, dream up what the Supreme Being deigned to make. In a sense, this dream would also just be what the beings of that reality would experience as they were digested by Azathoth. In this dream, Azathoth would come to know itself. So the Supreme Being created what later became a stone altar and used itself to put all of its reality into Azathoth, including itself, during this ritual suicide. It had transferred most of reality, including the altar, into Azathoth when, through no fault of this divine mover, reality was crushed. Footnote on altar. This altar is now centered at the Fortusian Everchange, and the randomness gets worse and worse the closer one gets to it. Then suddenly nothing, and one sees a chasm, with the stone altar at its center. End footnote. A being I only know as Ulzaroth had apparently broke the brick that is the Cristonic reality while walking on the road that was made by Urizen. These cracks in reality flung parts of the Cristonic reality into other realities, parts of other realities into our own. This also created the outer limits, which are bridges into other realities. When the ichor of Ulzaroth mixed with the stuff of the reality of the voidlings, the Sabbath were created, urchin and eel-like creatures that float throughout the plains. They inherit all memories of their predecessors and of the beings they eat. Hence, they know what it was like before time itself. However, the primal thing was still in the process of this most ancient and forgotten ritual, of which even all deities are ignorant of. While all of this occurred, through this thing, the Sabbath and the outer limits were also transposed into Azathoth's dream, along with the failed divine mover. It was partially negated, and it hated what it had become. For lo, what had its reality become? All due to some careless thing which regarded it as no more than a rock or an ant, which did not even consciously destroy it, but destroyed reality out of its carelessness, if it even had that. This new thing, which was once like the Supreme Being, had named itself the Dreadlord, for it had one goal: to awaken the dreamer, to end reality, and everything within it. Azathoth, digesting the outer limits of other realities, had made the dream, the digestion, on par with other realities. One may leave and enter them through the dream without ever approaching the real. Through ways that even I do not understand, this had elevated Azathoth to a level of existence on par with Urizen and Ulzaroth. This is a common occurrence, as it is like the fact flies and humans live in the same planet. What those beings do is they strip the dreamer of all semblance of what we would call intelligence, and trap it, giving Azathoth the epithet blind idiot god. Lord Blaze was sent to the blind idiot, perhaps as a pawn, perhaps of his own volition, to atone for his sins. He plays an instrument that the mad have described as being between a flute and a lyre, the piano and drums. His song and his body were devoured and heard by Azathoth, putting blaze into our reality. He also sends some of the children, being more like the ooze and excrement of Azathoth, into this reality, such as the nameless mist. A wrong note played by Bure Susama created the Alsaeans. Such is the tragedy of our reality. Instead of an all-loving, benevolent God who brings everything in eternal paradise, everything in our reality is ultimately determined by the voidlings, the Sabbath, the Dreadlord, beings from other realities and their offspring, the machinations of the sinner, and the dreams of the cold and careless blind idiot god and its excrement. Even those others in this list are nothing compared to Azathoth. In the dream, part of the dream.